It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Saturday, the 10th day of September, 2016. I'm Michael Groff. The monsoon making a bit of a resurgence this weekend. Chances for showers and thunderstorms over eastern Arizona. Will we see anything here in the valley? That's the big question. Plus, some drier air coming back for the early and middle part of the week. And quite a bit of forecast uncertainty toward the end of the period that we'll certainly talk about. So lots to get into. Right now, we're looking at mostly clear skies across the Phoenix metro. Just a few high clouds, nothing to concern yourself with right now. And it feels a tiny bit more comfortable, but certainly not bone dry outside. We're at 84 degrees, dew point 57, relative humidity 40%. Winds from the east at 9 miles per hour, and the barometer is rising. Radar is all quiet right now. Satellite picture shows just a few clouds across northern Arizona. Some clouds over northwest Mexico in association with an inverted trough that's going to try and lift north into the area today. And while you can't really make it out on this, there is also an upper low spinning off of the Southern California coast. All of that will play a role in our weather through the weekend. Watch warning map this morning. Oh boy, still dealing with some flash flood concerns across portions of Sedgwick County in Kansas. That's the Wichita area. Over towards St. Louis also. Even though the rain has ended in those areas, still some flooding concerns. We have some frost advisories also in the panhandle of Nebraska, southwest South Dakota, eastern Wyoming. So a sign that autumn, not too far away. Here we go with the convective outlook for today. Slight risk of severe weather extending from about Louisville, Kentucky, through the Cincinnati area, all the way up into upstate New York. Marginal risk areas surrounding that. Tomorrow, no real concerns for severe weather across the country. And then just a marginal risk in a small area on day 3. That's Monday for about the Kansas City area, eastern Kansas, northwest Missouri, southwest Iowa. And the precipitation forecast over the next 5 days. Best bet for measurable rain across southeast Arizona toward the White Mountains, the Mogollon Rim, Flagstaff, the Grand Canyon, the usual spots. For us, isolated thunderstorms at best. And again, when we show you these maps, these are general broad brush type forecasts. You could always get a localized downpour that produces an inch of rain while the guy across the street gets nothing. That's how the monsoon often works around here. Looking at the forecast then, here we go. Models, the 06Z GFS run valid at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time this afternoon. Across North America, a few big features there. We have a trough of low pressure moving through the Great Lakes toward the northeast. High pressure in the east and northeast Pacific. There's that little low spinning off the Southern California coast. And if I were to hope for some rain chances here in the Phoenix area today, they are slim chances, but there are a couple of encouraging signs out there. First of all, not only do we have that low to our west, but also an inverted trough over northwest Mexico. That feature will be lifting north toward eastern Arizona today. Because of that, there's some energy in the atmosphere. We've got lift, we've got energy. We've got moisture, Cape values, 500 to 750 joules per kilogram. Nothing outrageous, but certainly enough to generate some storms. And again, we have moisture. And there's the precipitable water values, 1 to 1.25 inches across southern Arizona. The big problem, the thing that's going to inhibit us, is that we have broadly southwesterly flow above the 18,000 foot level today. So that's going to keep us, at least most of the storms, east of the area. So we'll be mainly dry. But I can't rule out a dust storm, an outflow boundary making its way into the valley. But nothing that I would consider canceling any plans over or anything like that. So the chances of rain technically aren't zero for today, and high temperatures probably between 102 to 105. And afternoon dew points, they should be relatively low. And again, for tomorrow, we'll call it marginal in terms of monsoon moisture and criteria. Isolated thunderstorms possible in south central Arizona, but really the best chances will be mainly north and east of Phoenix. Biggest risk from storms tomorrow will come in the form of blowing dust and some gusty winds, but probably just 10 to 20% rain chances. Temperatures might back off just a little bit tomorrow, the 101 to 103 range. By Monday, the drier air starts to make its way in across southeast California and southwest Arizona. We'll be right on the edge of it by 5 p.m. Monday. There you see the precipitable water values on their way down. We're on that 1-inch line right there. And many of the models have pretty much no chance of rain for us by Monday evening, in fact. So the timing a little bit faster on the drying, and we'll see how that pans out. Still, probably about a 10% chance of rain on Monday. By Tuesday, chances of rain are out of here as drier air, lower dew points come in. Look at that. Dew points in the 40s by Tuesday evening. Wednesday, yesterday's GFS run was pretty interesting, and today's is interesting also, but I think it's a little bit more realistic. We'll still have a developing low across Nevada and heading up through the Great Basin and Rockies, and trough energy moving on through. A surface low heading for the Dakotas by Thursday. And for us, we'll remain under dry west to northwesterly flow. Precipitation chances basically zero. And temperatures probably in the mid to upper 90s. And lows will cool off pretty nicely with that dry air. Some of us will be down in the 60s for lows, and the urban core probably the low to mid 70s. Now, Friday's interesting. Here we go. Boy, look at that heavy rainfall expected around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and up through the Central Plains. We will remain dry with troughing across the west. Now, here's where the forecast gets a bit more interesting. And when we say interesting, what we're talking about is confidence goes way down and uncertainty goes way up. So take what I'm about to show you with a grain of salt, but we're going to show you this anyway. Here's next Saturday. This would be the 17th of September. Yesterday's GFS was showing a closed low over Arizona. Today's GFS shows a closed low over Arizona. Now, the genesis of those two scenarios is a bit different, and the result is a bit different because this one is further to the west and south. This scenario would start out dry for us, but eventually, by Sunday, some moisture advection would start to take place from the south. PWatt values coming back up. And then by the end of the forecast period, here's next Monday. And indications are that the tropics and the East Pacific are going to start to get more active, so maybe some more moisture would get drawn in this scenario. This is not climatologically unheard of, but this is not something that I would hang my hat on either. We'd see temperatures at or slightly below normal in this situation. But again, we're out at the end of the forecast period, September 19th, right? That would be a week from Monday. And then as we go further into the land of make-believe, the 20th and the 21st, the low continuing to spin out there. Probably see some moisture coming in, assuming that everything plays out as this is depicting. And then as we go all the way out, this is September the 25th, big hurricane out there in the East Pacific, but we would be mainly dry because high pressure would be building in from the west. Taking a look at temperatures. Here we go. These are a lot more realistic than the values we were showing you off the GFS yesterday. Highs dipping below 100 and probably staying below 100. Not sure if that's entirely possible, but the normal high here in Phoenix drops below 100 by about Thursday or Friday of this coming week. That's not a magic line in the sand. Certainly we can have 100-degree temps that linger into October. But this would be nice. With drier air, I can certainly see low temperatures dropping off pretty substantially. And you get away from the urban core, lows will be in the mid-60s, upper 60s through the period. That'll feel pretty nice. We'll keep an eye on the tropics. And if high temperatures stay under 100, I would be all right with that too. Understand, we don't usually see the first major cool down of the season until mid or late October. But this will still feel a little bit refreshing, especially after the long summer we've had. All right, that's a look at the Phoenix weather discussion for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments, questions, feedback. That's always encouraged. And we'll see you again tomorrow.